I guess is recording. Sorry about that. I never set up a live. I had the wrong orientation. This is what I'm gonna be working on. But first, actually over here. So the pecan oil goes to the top, and I put it in the fridge as cool as it would go. And actually, most of it is frozen, except for the oil on top. It's kind of an unusual way of separating the oil, but worked. There's some of the water getting into it. I really don't know how to separate oil. This is just my first try at it. It's actually really good. It's got not much of a taste, really. But I would say this is the sunflower seed oil. To figure out a better way to separate that. That's one method. I guess if people make messages, we'll have to flip this around. I still can't really see it that angle, but it's better. I'll put the mic on me. I'm recording here with the second camera, actually, to make a edited video. I've been working on this for since yesterday, this one, but just this general project for a few days. So I'm trying to record it, and I'll show the whole process eventually in an edited video of making a stone mortar. I'm surprised it's taking this long to do it. It's pretty easy with this the limestone. It's very soft. So I've got a collection of here. Got a collection of sort of pestles I've been using last night to pound it out. I actually reached a stage in there where the stone is a little bit harder, but I was basically just doing this. It's called pecking. You just bash the stone with another stone until it yields. And the one in my hand is, I'm pretty sure this is some sort of chert or flint, kind of. It's very hard and smooth. I chose it because it was hard, and you want something harder than limestone, obviously. But that's not hard. This limestone is very soft. And so I have a variety of tools here. This one is nice because it has this kind of edge. I've been using it to sort of smooth it out the bowl shape, as you can see just by the technique I'm using. What's up, man? I guess this is working. It's my first live. So after a while, I'll just dump it out like that. By the way, to first get the top smooth, to level it out, I put this is sand. Put the sand on first, and then used a flat stone. Just ground it against it for a long time to sort of flatten it, get a level working surface for the mortar. But now I'm pecking out this bowl. And a tool like this actually was pretty useful for like really getting in there. And this layer I'm at right now is actually a bit harder than the part above it. A little bit more organic material in there. Carbon. This tool digs a little bit deeper like a chisel. But I actually probably want to keep it around that level because I want a pretty hard working surface because I'm worried about the limestone sort of getting powdered into my meal. And I'm making this for acorn processing. So really at this stage what I want to be doing, I think it's deep enough. I'm going to just smooth out the bowl. So I've got some rougher stones here. I'm not sure. I got these all from some landscaping rocks. But this looks almost granitic, but it's probably just some sort of sandstone, maybe some feldspar in there. I don't know. But I just want to grind this to be really smooth. I might choose a different rock for this, actually. That's probably the best I have on hand. Another one here. Actually, this one's pretty good. This one is mostly quartz. Oh yeah, that feels better. So to get to this hard layer right here, it's just if I'm pecking it, it's going to end up uneven no matter what. So I'm going to do how I did the top and add some sand and water in there to abrade it and carry away this limestone, because it looks very smooth, but it's actually a lot of just powdered limestone in there. This is just river sand. Just some water. Oh yeah, that sounds good. One person, thanks for watching. Whoever's wants to see someone hit rock with rock. smooth it out a little bit. Looking good. Can't be perfect, but let's see the next step. got this basket that's kind of, if anyone's watching. This basket kind of scorched a little bit. So what I want to do is cut out the bottom and then attach it to the rim of this. It's called a hopper basket. I'm just sort of mimicking some acorn processing methods of California natives where they would use a shallow stone mortar here. This one's actually maybe even deeper than the ones historically being used, but they would surround that with a basketry hopper, and that would prevent the acorn meal that you're pounding from going everywhere and collecting at the bottom without needing to dig the actual hole in the rock this size, or it'll surely be like that. So how should I cut this out? I'll probably be a little conservative, but basically right around here. All stone tools, of course. And I might want a fresh flake. Just get a nice fresh flake from this. Shape this edge a little bit, actually. Some other rock. Should be good enough. Let's do this. This is dry out too. Just to get this first cut, I think I need something real thin and small. Here we go. I forgot to film this. It's about the right size and shape for everything. I'm gonna trim this up a bit. Oh, yes, I should be wearing eye protection for my flint knapping and gloves and all that stuff, and definitely not barefoot. Don't do this. I've actually gotten some serious wounds from flint knapping, especially barefoot. But just sort of doing a little bit light shaping of this, besides the initial taking off of this flake. This flint that I have, though, this black stuff, it looks like obsidian, but I found this in a local creek. It's Barton Creek, actually, in Austin. It's some of the best flint that I've ever worked with. I think it's just really high carbon content, which is, what makes obsidian really good. Or, is that true? No, that's not true. Silicon concentrate. Fun fact, this was probably a basket for chips at a Mexican restaurant, I think. I don't know. I found it at a thrift shop for like $1. Maybe just break it, maybe this is easier. So I'll be attaching this hopper basket to the rock with pitch, pine pitch. The pitch is simply the sap of coniferous plant, especially pine trees, melted and mixed 50-50 with powdered charcoal. So it's super easy to make. You can use juniper or mesquite sap as well instead of pine, but most conifer sap is usable basically just wherever you can get some sticky sap from. And you can mix a little beeswax in if you want the final product to be flexible, but I won't be doing that for this, I don't think. Sometimes if it's too inflexible and stiff, it can tend to break. So a lot of times I'll put just a little bit of beeswax in there, just add a little bit of play. So this is looking pretty good. I'm glad it had this little rim already on the bottom. That's perfect surface to which I can apply that pine pitch. I may have dug this out a little bit too much, but better too much than not enough. And I'm really happy with how this mortar turned out, because I didn't know that there was going to be a harder layer right at the perfect level in there, just a few inches deep. This, I don't know if you can see, but it's grayish color, and that's a harder stratum. Let me get my pine pitch. I'll be back. I like it to keep it sandwiched between two shells because when it gets hot in Texas and melts inevitably and it'll get all over everything. But when it cools down, you have to pry it off like that. Everything's all wet, so I'm not going to be building a friction fire for you today, but I do have the very primitive flint method. You know, the flint and steel and a butane lighter. But let me plan this first. I think I'll apply it directly to the basket and then set the basket down. Let me clean this off a bit. And this is something that you can take on and off, so I'm not too concerned about getting a job done perfectly here. Just want it to stick. This rock being very porous should be good. And I think I'll do it over something where I don't make a mess. What's going on? Oh, it's my secondary camera. I'm just gonna do it over the ground here. I don't want to get pitch on my leather. It smells really good. Oops. Lost a big chunk of it there. I might not have enough on this stick. I have another stick though. I don't like touching it with my hands because it can be a pain to get off, but I might have to do that in a second here. I think that I probably have enough though. Like I said, it's literally just enough to keep it held in place. That's probably good. Let me just finish the stick off though. Thanks, Animus. Now should I heat it? I'll try to heat it all before, then put it on, or heat it in place. I think with the lighter, I think just I can do a real quick torch. In place of a lighter, you could just use a burning brand. I just didn't feel like starting a fire. I was already dealing with a lot here. The multi-camera setup and everything's all wet too. So I think that's gonna get it sticking pretty good. No, not quite. Let me do it while it's in there, I think. Ow, that's hot. It might not be enough pitch actually. Got some more. I should start a fire just for appearance's sake. I feel bad about this. Whatever. A little big lighter like that is insanely convenient, and one of the last things I would want to abandon. Um, I always have one in any bag I carry or any car I drive. Big lighters, unlike the other ones, you can dunk them in water completely, and it can make them work within a minute after that. Really easy to dry out and reignite. But I am kind of wishing I had a fire now, because I think a good way to attach this would actually just be to set it by a hot fire, because it's hard to have it all heated up at once with this little flame. I'm just going to use all of this pitch. The lighter real evenly before trying to set it on. Or here, let's try this. Stick it on, and then do it from the underside. So it melts in. Here's a little trick I can do. This isn't working very well. I should have made a big fire. Let's just keep on going, hitting it with the lighter. Yeah, I don't have enough pine pitch, I think, is the real problem here. Just not making good enough contact. With the acorn grinding, 'cause that's what I'm making this for. I mean, it'll be useful for grinding a lot of stuff, but I specifically wanted to get the acorn meal nice and fine, because it really assists with leaching digestion. Oh, do we have something wrong up here? I don't know, it looks like I'm frozen. Stupid person called me. What's going on? Are we back? Okay. I don't know what just happened there. Anyway, let me get some of the. Actually, I'm gonna. No, I don't need to move. I'll just bring this over here. This is from the Chinquapin oak. These are the acorns. Let's choose a pestle. I really liked working with this one, but it might be too hard. I think a piece of quartz would be better. I also got this sandstone. Just do it with this one. I think we'll be fine. Probably should wash it off, but hey, a little extra calcium in the diet doesn't hurt. So just gonna start with one to get a look at how it's looking. Yeah, see, that's why I need the hopper basket, because this stuff just wants to fly out. But I'm just giving it a test, seeing how it's working, the right pressure so I don't break the rock. Yeah, and you can definitely grind it up real fine. Let's put a few more in there. These Chinquapin oats are great because these acorns, when you hold them, let me show you the. Ow! This is from the live oak Quercus fusiformis, but they all have like this sort of thin skin around it. And these are like really firmly attached. This is what it's like with off of it. But see, there's that skin. Put it over here too. But the Chinquapin oaks, the skin came off like automatically. Oh, here's a little bit of it in here. Normally there'd be a step between cracking and grinding, or you have to winnow off those little skins, but I didn't need to do it with basically any of the Chinquapin oak. Here's another one. I think it's because it's kind of like a thicker skin, but it's just not firmly attached to the kernels. I suppose I can actually just set this on here for now and use it without needing it specifically attached. Yeah, that's helping keep it contained real well. Here's this end. Some more in there, actually. I wish the pestle was a little longer. It's a little awkward positioning here. I have some other ones. Let's give this one a try. Yeah, so I picked all these up from a local landscaped area. There's probably millions of rocks like this because when people do sort of excavation for construction and whatnot, the limestone, it's kind of just gets powdered, but the heavier stuff, which in my area is chert and quartz. Here's a big piece of quartzite. It's also quartzite. That stuff you can't really grind up, so companies will just put it all together as an aggregate, and people use that for landscaping. But you can find all this stuff in local creeks as well. I just wanted to have a spot where I could visually pick out the best pestle-like shapes. Yeah, I'm liking this one actually. It's got a thicker bottom. It's thick. It's got like a little hand shape at the top here. Yeah, this needs more pitch. Oop, I'm losing a bit of pitch actually. Oops. Some of that pitch got detached from the basket and fell in there. Yeah, I need like a really thick rim of pitch, and to just put this whole thing by the fire so it heats up and just solidifies to a single mass. I tried. This will be fine for now. This is the simpler method. Just use your hand to prevent stuff from flying out. It's crazy to think that for thousands of years, this was just the most common, mundane activity that pretty much everyone in North America was familiar with. And for weeks or months at a time, everywhere you'd go, people would be preoccupied just grinding up acorn meal. It'd be nice to have other people to do it with, and I'm sure get to gossiping around the acorn pestle mortars, and I don't know. Yeah, I'll really want to get that hopper basket fixed because I don't feel confident really whacking away at this because it's just so easy for them to pop out. But I definitely like the stone mortar as opposed to my wooden one. I'm going to give the wooden one a try after this and basically decide which is better. But I'm pretty sure for acorns, stone mortars were more commonly used because you can really get a fine grind on these. And my mortar material, the wood one, this is black willow, which is pretty soft. My mesquite pestle, my pestle is made of mesquite wood, which is real hard. And I might try the mesquite pestle on this stone. That might be a good combo for the acorn meal. But so far this is working pretty good, besides the fact that I kind of have to be gentle and go slow without that hopper basket. It needs to be completely powdered for the most efficient leaching. It smells good though. And at some point, I'm going to dump this out onto a tray and sort of sort out the finer meal, because some of the stuff's already pretty fine. And then that way, each strike is more efficient, where I'm only grinding up what needs to be ground. But yeah, I sure need that hopper basket attachment. Doing the pitch and the fire and all that will take too much time for this live, but I'll do that for next time. I've never done a live, but I'm pretty much doing something like this every day, so I might do more if there's some interest in this sort of thing. I always just assume no one's interested in seeing the unedited full process. A lot of this Paleolithic technology is just a lot of grinding away. Literally, yesterday, the grinding of this stone. There's a Maori, an artist, that's a New Zealand indigenous. I've seen his work on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. I don't know what his handle is, but I don't follow that many people if you're interested. But anyway, he does some really cool stonework with grinding. Apparently, the Maori Paleolithic technology, as far as stone grinding techniques, was highly advanced, and he was like grinding some crazy like jade things, like implements. He does both ornamental work and useful things, but it's got a very interesting to see his applications of grinding, because he's able to do very fine work, work that you might want to do with a Dremel tool, which is just like a spinning tool that people use for stone carving now. So, electric tool, power tool. You can do basically all that stuff with just sand and other rocks. You just need rocks harder than the ones you're working on, water to carry away the slurry and reduce heat maybe. But you add some sand or grit in that, and then you rub it with another stone. It has like a whole toolkit of different stones of different sizes and shapes and materials, which is able to basically make anything that any modern stone carver can do. It just takes more time. But yeah, I think I could grind this down a lot faster if I had that mortar hopper, because I'd just be like wailing on this right now. But it's working. I want to get one batch done here and then dump this out and sort it. I'm curious to give this a taste. Very sweet. Chinquapin doesn't have that many tannins either. I think Chinquapin might be the best in the area, but it doesn't really grow commonly wild. Yeah, it tastes sweet and nutty. It's really good. I'm able to read your comments if anyone has any questions or anything, or just feel free to watch. I'm just hanging out. So yeah, it's like around this point, it feels like each of my strikes isn't doing a lot because there's so much that's already ground powder. It's kind of like preventing the other particles from getting ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump it out into a basket. Dang it, I need to rearrange some baskets here. Maybe I'll go grab another one to get... I have like 5 baskets and they're all full of some stuff. I'll be right back. basket for like this type of sorting where you can really sling the bigger particles to one side, but I'll show you what this can do. Is all those little crevices, the finest particles are going to get stuck in those, and so I can just pour it off, and then what's left in the crevices I'll tap out into another basket with a stick. And that is a historical method that I learned from research. I'll take a few rounds. So this meal is probably pretty much ready to be leached. There's a couple bitter particles mixed in there. Deal. I forgot I had to have my microphone on, but I couldn't hear any of that. Okay. Then y'all ever tried acorn meal? So I got 3 different types of acorns that I'm actually 4, but the 4th one I need to get more of. But I have a pretty good sized batch of 3 different acorn species. What I want to do this fall is really to figure out what's the best acorn in Central Texas for using for food. I was previously thinking the bur oak just because it's so dang big, but I don't know. It seems a little bit hacky. I don't just like also it's kind of weird. It's unusual, and bur oak is only planted. I don't like that. I'm really hoping the red oak is gonna show up well. The Texas red oak, that's Quercus bucklei. That one's really common. It's the one that has the sort of sharp points on the lobes of its leaves, and it loses its leaves in the fall, unlike the live oak, which is Quercus fusiformis. But the live oak has really tiny acorns. This is like the largest of the local escarpment or live oak acorn kernels get. A lot of them are like this. So also the skins of the kernels are like cling pretty good to these ones. That's what I was saying about the chinkapin oak. Is nice that the skins don't cling to it like at all, but the skins also cling really hard to the Texas red oak, so we'll have to be winnowing those off. So already chinkapin oak is ahead of the 3 by not having any need for those skins to be winnowed. But chinkapin oak is also pretty much only found planted in Central Texas, but it is very commonly planted, and but we'll determine between all 3, and then I think between the 2 common wild ones, the escarpment live oak and the Texas red oak, easily it's going to be the Texas red oak just because they're bigger. But I haven't tasted either of those leached or this year. I haven't really compared them. So that's another factor, is how much leaching each requires. There's differing amounts of tannins in different oak species, and actually this chinkapin oak also seems to be very low, so it's probably going to be the winner overall. But we'll have to see if the live oak is easier to leach out, like significantly more than the Texas red oak, then it could be a winner. It's definitely more common than a Texas red oak, but you can easily get enough of either if you want. Pretty much any forest you go to in the area. So let's do another round of sorting. I'm making a mortar for grinding acorns. It's really necessary for a lot of historical wild food processing methods. So it's not like stone mortar for masonry, which would be like the kind of cement or glue between 2 rocks. But I can see how it might seem like that. I've already made the mortar actually, and I'm using it now to grind acorn meal. But it was pretty easy because this limestone's real soft. Ouch. But I have done some stone masonry work in the past. I like to do that, particularly for landscaping. I love to work with limestone because it's so soft and you can shape it so easily. Yeah, I have a wood mortar and pestle. I mean, most people probably haven't seen mortars and pestles that are any bigger than that will fit in your hand. You know, I have a little one in my kitchen I use for grinding up spices. But you need some big ones to grind up stuff like acorn meal and like a mesquite meal. Some of this is kind of clumped up, so I'm breaking apart those clumps of the really fine stuff so it can sit in the creases of the basket real easily. So again, the finer particles will just be caught in the creases, and I'll shake off the larger particles into another basket to regrind until we got nothing but fine particles. We're doing it on this one, right? Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, cool. I love San Marcos. I've actually thought about moving there, man. The way Austin is getting New Braunfels also, just like that area is so nice, and like the way the water is drying up, it's really scary. But yeah, this would be I'm following some methods that are known for sure from California natives, but there are known historical stone mortars made into limestone bedrock. I've never seen any in person, but I've seen photos of them. Those are known from Central Texas. I'm surprised there's not more, really, but the reason there's probably not more because the limestone is so soft and it like erodes so quickly. So there probably would have been a lot more historically, and then also like they break apart. They're pretty fragile. In fact, like limestone's actually great for it because it is so soft. Like this took me a couple hours to make, and I even like flattened the surface and everything. But yeah, I wonder if there was more portable ones used that are just kind of now falling apart. But there's just not as much. I'm sure they're doing it here. I'm just know for sure that it was done in California like this because there's just better research done on natives' historical lifeways than in Texas. But early settlers used some interesting mills, mortars too. But that's one thing that started changing in the area is transition to using more millstones. In fact, I would be surprised if some of like those local rivers in New Braunfels, the Comal or San Marcos River didn't at some point power some sort of mills. We just have the water wheel turning. Those do tend to be like a big stone disc, and you're grinding it against another surface. So it can either be like the disc spinning like this, or the disc can be kind of like a wheel and rotating around. But those are better for grinding grains, I think. But also just allows you to take the manpower out of the equation and just use some wind or water power, or even livestock, actually. Oh, a lot of stone mortars in bedrock. Yeah, a lot of private property in the area, and yeah, people probably don't want them finding out. People kind of have like an instinctual, like, can't let the government know, they'll come and shut me down sort of thing, but also just like, we don't want people messing around and looking at this. It's not really all that interesting. I just personally haven't seen that many, but yeah, there must be a ton out there. if I get this hopper basket on there, and I don't know, I might even want to make this a little bit deeper, or maybe just make another one that's bigger. It's kind of good to have different size, but I should be able to do more at a time than this. This is a pretty small little batch, and it's going to be time consuming either way, but increasing the size of the batch is a good way to increase efficiency. This hasn't been really taking too long. I think we're on about 15 minutes of just pounding the acorn meal. It was only like a handful, but probably would have taken the same size if it was twice as much in a bigger mortar or with the hopper basket. So let's do another round of sorting. This pestle is like big though. I need a little grass brush like that. My grass brusher got soaking wet, so I can't use it to sweep the acorn meal out. But luckily I can still just lift this up. Trying not to get mud in there though. There's got to be an easier way to do that. I'm struggling there. Just a bad angle, setting it on my foot was probably not the best method. These little clumps I'm breaking up. And then shake it around. Break up some more clumps. Oh, thanks, Geographic John. Appreciate that. It's pretty cool. That's actually the first might have been on YouTube. I was actually just able to turn on some monetization tools the other day. So I appreciate that. You're the first. Let's see. Native stone masonry mixes. Yeah, that would be. I think that would be like. I think just powdered limestone. It must be sort of lime also, where you're like burning the limestone. I'll have to look into that. I'm not familiar with how that would have been done. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. And Yeah, I've been working on some stuff for monetization, like the membership. I have a bunch of videos that I've made and uploaded, but they're unlisted right now. Been waiting to do the sort of memberships where both on YouTube and Patreon, where people can see my videos that are exclusives. Yeah, it's an interesting idea though, the masonry techniques. I feel like the Southwest would be a good place to look at that. There's a place called what is it, Casa Grande, it's a big house, which it's like basically a huge palace out in the middle. Like people don't really know about it, but like the whole culture of Mesoamerica that actually extended up into Arizona in Casa Grande and some other areas, and the Puebloans were very influenced by them. It's proven by the existence of cacao and scarlet macaws found in archaeological sites like that, but just the megaliths, the giant structures like Casa Grande, are also indicative of Mesoamerican culture, where they're able to make these giant, monuments for the ruling class, or just they're able to have a lot of resources to do that. But it wasn't like dry stone stacking. There was plenty of that, of course, in the Southwest, but they were for real just like mortared and like done really good stonework, is still standing. And I don't know. I've read a little bit about that technique, but I don't know exactly what they're doing. There's a guy that does more. Well, he's mostly pottery, but he might have something to say about that. I think it's just called Ancient Pottery. I think his name is Andy or something. He has a YouTube channel. And if anyone knows about how they did it, it's probably him. Here at Central Texas, there was Mesoamerican and megalithic structures. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people don't nearly appreciate how megalithic structures were kind of all over the southeast. The thing is, once you get further in the southeast, there's a lot less stone to work with. So the megaliths, well, I don't know if you even call it megaliths because lithic just means stone, but there were earthenworks, and those have eroded now. And so now you just have these giant mounds, and people still like call them the mound culture and mound builders, but they weren't building mounds. They were building giant like fortresses, essentially, with the sides of being like cut almost vertically and shored up with timber, and you would have massive platforms like 50 feet plus tall, and that would be flat at the top, and that's where temples and like the chiefs' houses would be, and also just big decorative mounds, like there's one in the shape of a snake or something. Oh, they do an excavation, and they don't want to like show all of the structures there because they won't be able to dig or do excavation. And that definitely makes sense. Yeah, Central Texas is one of the oldest inhabited places in all of North America. There's a site 40 miles northwest of Austin called the Buttermilk Creek Complex, which is known for sure to be settled in 15,000 years ago. There's the Clovis culture. So North America is probably settled as early as 22 to 24,000 years ago. I think the oldest concrete evidence we have is 23,000 years ago, the footprints in the White Sands National Monument. But it's just hard to get any evidence from anything that old. But Central Texas and San Marcos has been continuously inhabited basically since at least 15,000 years. So that's why people in Central Texas are constantly uncovering flint. I mean, flint is super common in the area. There's so many artifacts to be found. And I'm sure it's hard to find anywhere in Texas that doesn't have artifacts. So I'm sure any company doing ground excavation is probably going to want to keep that quiet. This looks like there's not any more particles worth really sorting out. These are kind of just clumps. Powder. So I think I'd say this is ready for leaching. Creek. I don't know where that is. But yeah, I like to mud flood theory. I don't know the mud flood theory. What is that? What is the mud flood theory? I'm curious. Where should I put this? I think I'm just going to actually put this all back into this basket. So nice little bit of leach meal. This was just from a handful, but I was mainly wanted to test out this mortar. Working great. I'll be alright, cool. Yeah, I'll make some more pitch and just really cake it on there. And I think setting it by the fire, allowing it to affix in the heat, that'll make it just more efficient. I can fill up this whole thing and just really wail on it without worrying about losing all the kernels. But I'll also test out the, you know what, maybe I'll just do that right now. I've got enough light. I'll test out my wooden mortar. Just to tell the difference. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Just sort of perceptually feeling if it's worth it, because this is a lot deeper, but I just don't think this is going to be able to get it, that meal that's so fine. And it's crumbling. Although maybe for like a first pass at it, it is pretty quick that I could probably, that might be what I'll do is for the first pass. I'll show you the meal. It's just like this. But maybe what I'll do is for the first pass to grind up the acorns in the large mortar, then transfer it over to this to get it ground up really fine. Because it's also more comfortable to do it standing with this large pestle. But I think the stone is necessary for that real fine grind. What else do I have to show y'all? What time is it? crack some acorns. I did this at the very start of the stream, but this is pure pecan oil. I ground up a bunch of pecans and boiled it, and then the oil sits at the top and just pour it all off. It's really easy to do, and it tastes great. It's like a sunflower seed oil, maybe. Very light, almost tasteless. I was worried that a lot of like the shell would like infuse the oil with that pecan taste, kind of like bitterness, but there was none of that at all. I don't want to move my camera and everything for this. I think I'm just gonna end the stream there, but I'll probably keep on cracking these nuts just to work on it. This is all I have as far as the live oak acorns. So my battery, my other camera's running out. I know I've been filming all of this on a separate camera to put together to an edited thing to show people how to make the mortar and pestle and grind up the acorns. But I'm just gonna sit here and crack some more of these. But first live stream. Appreciate everyone for watching. Hope that was educational, at least entertaining a little bit. I had fun. Actually grinding this out was super satisfying. This limestone is so soft. And you can see an edited video when I finally post that. I'm like so many videos deep and I've got a lot of pots on the burner. But you can basically just do the whole thing with some stone like this. You just keep wailing at it, and then some sand and water to help grind it at the end to finish it. And then maybe I smoothed it at the end with the smooth quartz. That was really helpful. But yeah, it's like, took me a couple hours to do. I've been looking at getting a mano and matate. The grinding, it's like a flat surface and you grind it like that. It's traditional Mexican thing, so you can just buy it. But now after making this, I think I'm just gonna make one of those. I don't think limestone will be good for that. I think it needs to be a little bit harder. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching, and thanks to you, Graphic John. Yeah, it was fun. So yeah, take it easy, guys. I guess this saves as a video too, so you can come back and check this out if you're interested. All right, take it easy, everyone.